Hello, it's Jennifer. It's June 2nd, a Friday. Today I'm out in the garden doing my usual thing, checking on my plants, seeing what's going on. I intend to do something on my tomatoes later on today, but for now I'm focusing on what's going on with this plant. So this is the Kung Pao pepper that I overwintered, and most of the plant is looking fine except for what's going on here. So basically the leaves have gotten thick and they're discolored and they look kind of brownish, and their leaves are crinkly, and on the back they're just discolored and mottled. Perhaps that's some sort of fungus, I don't know. It's not happening all over the plant, so what I decided to do today was just to go ahead and cut these branches off, and maybe look on the internet to see if there's any clue as to what's going on here. So here's a branch that I cut off with whatever's going on. It appears that whatever this is also affecting the fruit. So now I'm kind of concerned about the health of the entire plant. Whether this is a virus or whether it is some sort of fungus. My thought looking at this, I think usually don't viruses affect the fruit as well. So this plant may be doomed entirely, but I'll cut off some more branches to see. I was looking for some aphids, and I haven't seen any of those. I'm having a hard time getting the camera to focus on the leaves, I'm sorry. And I don't have one of these fancy cameras. Let's see what I can do. But the modeling is really bad on these leaves. So I cut off the affected branches, and I looked at some things on the internet, and I thought at first it might be a mosaic virus, but then looking further into it, it may have just been mites damage. So what I'm going to do is continue and letting the plant grow, but I will spray this with some neem oil, and the actual neem oil with the poison in it, to see if I can get rid of the mites. With the eggplants, after 2 applications of neem oil in a week's span, I saw a marked improvement of the plant's health. So if I see the plant looking much better after some neem oil treatments, I'll go ahead and assume that was mites. If not, then I'll probably pull the plant just in case it is some sort of viral infection. Usually with plants, particularly with peppers, viruses are spread between your plants by aphids, and so you want to make sure that any diseased plants that can have aphids jumping between them, that you get rid of them such that they don't kill all the plants in your garden. Hello, it's Jennifer. Today is June 9th, it's Friday, and this is a follow-up to my pepper problem that I talked about earlier this week. So the last time I cut off a bunch of branches to try to remove the bad parts of the plants, and then I went ahead and sprayed with neem oil a couple of nights just in case the problem was mites. So I'm still not sure what the problem is, but it doesn't appear to be an insect problem. Despite spraying and cutting, the disease has spread, and so now this branch is affected and has leaves falling off, leaves curling, and the leaves again are kind of brownish and mottled. So I think the best course of action, since I already have 2 large canisters of dried cotton cow peppers that will take me years to get through, is to go ahead and remove this plant since I don't need any fresh peppers. Another problem is that it appears that whatever's going on spread to this Kung Pao jalapeno hybrid right there. And so now parts of it have brown leaves and with mottled texture on the back. I'll go ahead and collect the fruits off these, and I'll probably go ahead and remove this plant as well. It looks like also the problem spread to this plant, which now has wrinkled leaves on a branch. This is a peppercini. So yeah, I gotta remove these plants before it spreads to the whole bed. As a precaution, I don't throw the plant scraps from a diseased plant into my compost pile. Rather, I go ahead and throw them into the municipal compost pile, knowing that they will have the resources to properly heat up and kill any disease or fungus that might be in these plant scraps. Also, I did collect the fruit from these plants, the ones that didn't look diseased, but since I don't know what the problem is, I will not be collecting any seeds from these plants, because if it is a viral infection, then the virus could also be present in the seeds, and so I'd be starting off again with diseased plants. The other thing to remember is to also wash your instruments after you use them on diseased plants. So I use just the Clorox wet wipes to wipe down my shears after I'm done. So I still have a little bit of work to go. It looks like there's something going on again with my peppercini, and then I'll go ahead and take a look at the other plants in my bed. It looks like the Mexibel here has a few peppers on it. Shoot, I touched it and it fell off. Oops. That's what I get. Anyhow. So I won't be touching any more fruit. So moving on to the next plants. So one of the problems I'm having with this bed is overcrowding. Initially I didn't know how these ground cherries would grow. My other ground cherries had grown pretty low, but these ones that are under the shade cloth actually grew tall and wide. So today I'm going to go ahead and thin some of this out because I prefer the peppers over the ground cherries. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this plant over here that's crowding out these to give the pepper some space. And maybe in its place I'll plant an herb or something that's much smaller. The other ground cherries I'm going to leave alone. Interestingly, I pointed out last time that the ground cherries that were growing in the pot were low, and I took them under the same shade cloth, and now about a week later they're starting to grow upward along with the pepino plant. So I guess the shade really does help. I guess cut out some of the UV, and the plant now is growing out of being stunted. So we'll see how this goes, whether it catches up with the plants that were always in the shade. I ended up removing 4 of the ground cherry plants, which leaves me with 2 in the raised bed and 1 in a pot. I think that's fine, seeing as how vigorously they grow. I wonder if later I'll end up just narrowing it down to 1 ground cherry in the raised bed and 1 in the pot. I also staked up the ground cherries and the surrounding peppers since they were leaning over from crowding each other. So hopefully now the plants will have enough space to grow and to share nutrients and won't be fighting each other. And now it's getting too radiant outside, so too much UV. UV index is now 10. So I will be going inside until about 2 or 3 o'clock when it starts cooling off and the house starts shading the backyard. So another one of the problems I have with my peppers is bugs infiltrating through the cap. I lose lots of peppers to whatever bug this is drilling into the peppers. Usually I end up finding them because they've started rotting from the inside or started drying out. So this is, I think it's some sort of like small bell pepper type. And well, it's ruined because there's a hole in it. So I'll be throwing this into the compost bin. So here are my plants from a couple weeks ago, where I had the big ant and aphid invasion. I had to put down some diatomaceous earth to try to deal with the ants because I couldn't get a hold on the aphids until I got rid of the ants. So the ants appear to be pretty much under control now. But the plants still look pretty thrashed. So like this one was pretty thrashed. The Zavery here, starting to grow back some leaves, but it just looks stressed. And the rest of them, you know, they just look kind of thrashed. The cherry pepper though has some ripening peppers on it, so that's good. I'll probably go ahead and pick the ones that are fully ripe today. I still don't know what kind of pepper that is, but they're nice and big. I guess I should wait for them to turn a color. And another pepper over here, I think that's a bell. More cherry peppers over here. And this is a cubanelle. So they're trying. I may take a few of these disease leaves off the cubanelle today.